Dabba dabba doo. Mercy, mercy. Well, hello, 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 hello. Delightful to have you all with us on this beautiful day here on the east coast of the west coast of the east coast. It is 9 o'clock in the morning on January 21st. A new day is upon us. Will we survive?
Well, that remains to be seen.
I do it.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah. Goodness sakes. There she is.
Good morning.
My, my, my. Well, hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Good morning, Father Fish, and good morning, everyone in the show. All right, now I got to adjust this again. You can't make me mind where you're putting that camera. Okay.
Morning, Zoe. Yeah, which do you like better? That one?
I like to be farther away.
That one. That's funny.
I don't like a close up.
Well, I can
if I get
I
my
can get
choice.
you. I get you way over there.
There you go. That's good. That works.
Oh, Lord. Mercy.
Oh, boy. All right.
Yeah.
There are lots of people in here this morning.
There is a gang here, isn't
on
there?
A Friday morning.
Thursday morning. It's a Thursday morning.
Is it Thursday?
It is Thursday.
Oh, my goodness. You're right. Wow, I'm losing it.
You lost a day.
I guess I just wanted the weekend to get here. So
I think, yeah, I understand perfectly.
I don't even know what day it is.
A lot of us lost more than a day in the last 24 hours.
Yeah. Okay, we'll just say that's it. That's it. I need an excuse.
Xanadu.
Because I'm losing it.
Ashuchola. Hello, hello. Mark Weaver. Good morning, Mark.
Yes, good morning.
Xanadu. Paul.
I think I'm saying hello to everybody, but I think I read higher up in the chat, is Xanadu expecting fish this morning? That's fun. Or today.
Xanadu is expecting fish today. Yeah.
Well, that's always fun.
Blue-eyed rainbows, no less.
Ooh, it's just fun to get fish,
Yeah, no, it's always fun to get fish. You bet.
Yeah.
Oh, glory. Well, I looked at my my new gouramis this morning.
Oh,
my phoenix, and they're still alive.
Well, that's good. I mean,
yeah.
It's always that way. You get nervous when you get those sensitive fish.
I know.
Your fingers and.
Yeah, I know they're not going to survive. They never do. But it's like if I can keep them a little longer than I did the last time, I feel like I'm ahead of the game. I've had chocolates. These look very much like a chocolate. The color pattern is different. The body shape is really the same. I think these get a little bigger than the chocolates, but I actually spawned the chocolates once, which is kind of remarkable. Yeah, because there's a lot of general confusion in the literature as to, in fact, how they spawn, whether they're bubble nest builders or mouth brooders.
I always assumed bubble nest. Are they not?
Well, I think they're both, actually.
Interesting.
I don't know how that's even reasonable.
Right.
unless they put the eggs in the bubble nest and the baby's in their mouth, and that might make sense.
That's what I was just going to say. They hold.
But there is no real clarity after all these years about how these fish spawn.
So,
or how they
said you spawned them, and you didn't?
I did, and they were. Yeah, I found the female mouth brooding.
Okay.
But never saw any fry.
But you know, that almost makes sense that they pick them up after they hatch.
Yeah, it does, right? And that they would build a bubble nest.
Right.
They're such a tiny, tiny, delicate fish.
They are. I've owned them.
Have you? Yeah.
And they were
there are a half a dozen different species, including some that are referred to as licorice gouramis.
Yeah.
They're more in the shape of a sparkling or a croaking gourami, both of which are pretty common and easy to come by. I think I've got some sparkling. I don't believe I have any croaking right now. But I think what I would like to do, if I ever get set up again with a fish room, which is my dream and ambition, would be to have a licorice tank, maybe 100 gallons or so, something long, like 6 to 8 foot long.
You think that's
with a number of different species of licorice in it?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And try to set it up with a super low pH, like about 5.0 pH.
Yeah.
I'll need Andre's help to do that.
I was just gonna say you're gonna have, because we know keeping something that low and consistent can be tricky.
Right.
So
I don't know. We'll see. It's going to take, I think, a long time if I make this transition to get set up, because there's just so much to do and quite a distance to do it all in. So it's like I'm looking at the top of the mountain thinking to myself, God, one more Everest to get over. I've been over a few.
That's what stops me from doing some things sometimes. I get these great ideas and then it's like, you know what we're gonna have to do to make that happen? It's like,
exactly. Right. Right. That's, for me, it's not like it's one big thing. It's like it's 10,000 little things.
Right. And everything. You're talking about, moving sort of
everything,
yourself,
right. Exactly.
Everything.
And I don't know what kind of help I'm gonna have.
Well, there's that too. Usually you have to pay for those people.
Yeah, with help I can do it. If I gotta do it for myself, it might not ever happen.
Oh, I hear you. Or like you said, you kind of have to ditch everything and just go there and start over, buy everything new, and not try to move it.
Well, that's possible too.
Sometimes moving stuff like that is just it's too much.
Yeah, that way I can put in place the pieces. But then I've got to have the money to do that. So that means liquidating.
Therein lies the rub, right?
Well, that's it. That's it.
Oh, boy. So I've been saying hello. And as we said, there's no end to hellos. So maybe later today when a few more come in, we'll pass out a few wrenches today. Because I don't think we've done that all week, have we?
I think you're probably right.
Yeah, so we can do that in a little while and give people a chance, because I see somebody that has been here and I'm like, oh yeah, we should give them a wrench, and so. Yeah,
Lee was talking to somebody this morning about getting wrenched.
Mm-hmm. Well,
let's see. Let me get.
Maybe Lee can drop that in the chat for us what he was suggesting, and we'll try to keep track of everybody. And I don't care. You can do some now, whatever you want to do.
Let's see. Sunset Jen. Is Sunset Jen?
That's the one I was thinking of. I was like, because I just saw her come in. I'm like, I know she's been here.
All right, Sunset, you are now blue.
All right, nice. And there was somebody else that was just Oh, I just scrolled up and saw them.
Chevy is here. Mark Weaver.
Yes, that's who it was. Mark's here. And then, well, we'll just keep track as we go along.
Congratulations, Mark.
Yeah,
Mark is now blue.
Somebody as we go along, we'll try to fix it. Oh, Dreamweaver says, I'm sure this has been asked and answered before, but how long does Father Fish recommend lights on time for a dirty planted tank? The light question. How long do you leave your lights on? How much light? What do you recommend? All the things. Chop, chop, let's go. The light. Well, you have different ideas.
I have different, right.
Yeah.
I do it all different. And frankly, I don't see what difference it makes. Here's the problem. If you have an adequate amount of plants in your tank, and by that I mean that a substantial portion of the bioload, meaning the living matter in your tank, is plants. And I would put that at better than 50%. If better than 50% of the life, the bioload in your tank is plants, then I don't think you can give it too much light. I think if you leave the light on permanently, never turn it off, it will not be too much light. So really the question of light is like, it's like the question of aesthetics. What to you is beautiful? What to you is a happy tank? You know, what to you is going to work most effectively in your home? I gave a little tiny 3-gallon tank to my roommate. My roommate is 92. I set this thing up so all they had to do was put a flake of food in it every day. It's got a half a dozen fish and a bunch of plants. It does not have a direct light on it, but it has a light above it. And it's sitting in a window that has western exposure with a lot of trees outside. So it doesn't really get any direct sunlight. The light, he decided that he wanted to leave the overhead light on 24/7. So that's what we're doing. I really believe it's a matter of what you prefer and what you would like to do. And then your tank will adjust accordingly. It really will. It's not a matter of what the tank prefers so much as it is what are the prevalent conditions. What is it that you, as the fish keeper, as the aquarium owner, what is it you want to do? Do you want to have your fish room in the dark half the day, like all night? Then just do it, and everything will adjust accordingly. Do you want to have ambient light on in your fish room 24/7 and brighter lights during the day? Then do it, and your aquarium will adjust accordingly. It's really up to you. It really, really is. And whether you have big, powerful lights or small, not very powerful lights, is the same sort of decision. You can play with it and see what difference it makes, but it's such a personal thing, and every tank is so different that you really need to work out that issue for yourself. There are no hard and fast rules. Certainly, if you have plants in your tank, they need light. They're not going to survive without it because they have to make chlorophyll and they need light to do that. How much light, how long the light goes on, work it out. Experiment with it. Try longer durations of light, shorter durations of light. You might start at a point where you think it ought to be, and your plants are not doing as well as you would like, so you add an hour. Try that for a week. Add another hour. Just experiment with it until you get things to the level where you're happy with it. I think that's the only viable way to do this because, again, it's a very personal thing. It depends on you, what you're doing in your tank, what the conditions are, and so forth. So
the only thing
that's the answer about light. Yeah, go ahead, Joey.
Well, to say the only thing for me that I try to do is be consistent. I don't, leave them on 12 hours, and then
absolutely
6 hours, and then the next day they only got on for 3. I
absolutely
try to at least be consistent in what I do. I think that's an important
that's
part
absolutely right. So a timer is a real blessing.
Sure, but I have my tanks all over, but I know what I do, but I think in that if I was trying to give advice to somebody, I would just say try to be at least consistent in whatever you choose. As you said, you can choose whatever, but do the same thing. Could you give a wrench to Maple Street Aquatics, Father Fish? Right at 9:17.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
I did Mark Weaver, didn't I? I did.
I think you tried to, but we have had some issues with that too, where they just don't.
I did Sunset Jen.
Yeah. Oh, and then we have a question from her too when you're ready.
Maple Street Aquatics, got it.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I clicked on green machine.
You took theirs away.
Right below it, yeah. Okay, Maple Street is now green. Blue.
Okay, thank you. So Sunset Jen is asking, one of my new bettas seems to float up when he stops swimming. He is a little guy with heaps of fins and often has a twitch too while swimming. Reduced his food by 2/3. Please advise.
Where is this?
It is at 9:16, Sunset Jen.
Float up when he stops swimming.
Yeah.
Is he eating? Is he moving about? Is he otherwise healthy looking? Can you see anything wrong with him other than his peculiar behavior?
Right. One of the things I would say, in my breeding is those heavy fins. If they truly are long and heavy, it's exhausting for them. They'll spend some time resting, and sometimes
but she says he's floating up. So if he's floating up, he's keeping air in his labyrinth.
Well, yes.
Which is fine.
She said, okay, little guy with heaps of fins. So he's got both things going on.
I would suggest that he's playing with you. He's teasing you. Dogs will do this. Puppies, cats will do it too. Dogs will do it. I think fish do it too. They manipulate you. These are all highly intuitive animals. And they'll play with you for whatever reason in whatever context. I think a fish twitching may simply define the behavioral characteristics of that particular fish. Unless there's something visibly happening that's preventing the fish from functioning in any way normally, I would chalk it up to behavioral peculiarity. Fish do have them, after all. They're not automatons. They don't all act the same way.
Right. I mean, it could be a swim bladder thing also, but I suppose she could just not feed for a couple of days. And
so yeah, food's not going to affect swim bladder then. You know.
Yeah, but
really.
I mean, just to find, just don't feed it for a couple of days. See if anything gets better. Won't hurt.
Reduce food by 2/3. So what are you feeding? He floats up when he stops swimming.
Right.
When he floats up, does he float up on his side or his belly? Yeah. Or is he floating up and still holding a vertical position?
True. We'll see if she throws anything in the chat.
Yeah, let's find out what this 2/3 reduction in food is all about too. Guppy grass. Rohan. Yeah, go ahead.
Frozen foods, Father Fish. She's just thinking he's a little unfortunate. I mean,
Yeah, hard to say. Try not feeding anything for 2 or 3 days.
And she says he floats straight up. So, yeah, I would just try the no food.
I think he's probably fine.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. What question were you on to? You had seen something.
Rohan was telling Guppy Grass to stick his hand in the tank and bury pellets in the sand.
Oh, well, there was a question I saw earlier, and I'm not sure if it was the same question, but similar. It was basically
when I feed my cories, the platies and others start trying to eat the pellets. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I kind of like that. That's cool.
Yeah. This person, it was farther up, but they were worried about their cory cats getting some food.
Right, guppy grass. Yeah, I saw that. So I never worry about cories not getting food because ultimately they get everything. Remember, fish do not process 100% of the food value that they eat. They only process a small percentage of it. The rest is waste. And the cory cats are masters of waste. Mm-hmm. They get to get first dibs on all that. Partially digested food is always more desirable than undigested food. It may seem gag reflexing to us, but for animals living in the wild, where food is not necessarily prepared by loving hands to make it highly palatable, but is more often rough and fibrous and hard to get at and difficult to swallow, and often even more difficult to digest. Partially digested food is a joy and a pleasure. And that's the nature of most of the food that most little fish eat. They eat other little fish's partially digested food. Mm-hmm. So I never worry about cories.
Right.
But Rohan's suggestion is a good one.
Right.
Bury it a little bit. Not deep.
Michael M says he took Father Fish's advice and added a few nice oak leaves to his 10-gallon tank. They sank down now, and it added a very nice natural look to my tank. Thanks, Father Fish.
You bet. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like
tannin look. You know?
Jordan Schumann is asking, what do you think about quarantining aquarium plants? Actually, I never do it. I am an extreme naturalist, I guess. I believe that whatever exists in the wild, if that environment is a visibly healthy environment, that it's got living matter in it that I want in my tank. So I don't try to restrict what goes in my tank unless it's something particularly raunchy or even a little bit raunchy. I mean, I'm not going to take plants out of a pond that's polluted and put them in my tank. If I'm out collecting, I'm not going to collect from a body of water that's foul or that or that has visible disease in it. And you can always see it. I mean, if you look at the fish in a pond, if there is disease, you can see it. It's very plain and very obvious. The fish have globules of junk on them. They're dying. They're stressed out. There's something in there that's wrong. I would never take a fish, whatever the fish, out of a situation like that, because I don't want that in my aquarium. If, on the other hand, I see fish or plants that are beautiful, that are growing luxuriantly, that are obviously happy and vigorous, I will be excited about collecting them and putting them in my tank because I want that in my tank. I want the water, I want the dirt, I want the plants, I want all the living organisms that are in there in my tank, because it's going to increase the biodiversity in my tank, and that will make my tank healthier and sturdier than it already is or would otherwise be. So, yeah, I quarantine. Well, the point of fact, I don't quarantine because if I get plants that are like rot, dying, I discard them. I don't try to do anything with them. I just won't deal with them. I don't want to know what the problem is, and I don't want to try to rescue them because I don't want to devote the time and effort to a lost cause. So that's kind of hard nosed, probably. But I run a shop. I'm not running a hobby room, and that's part of the reason for that. I can't afford to have anything in my tanks that is derelict, that's sick, or otherwise problematic.
Yeah.
Will fish go crazy with the lights on all day? No. No, but you want to have cover. You want to have places where they can hide. Fish prefer the dark. Any lurking fish, for example, is lurking in a dark place. There are fish that swim around in schools all day. Presumably, those fish like the light. They like the sunlight.
Right.
But many, many, many fish prefer to hide, to shelter. And so you want lots of plants, hardscape, caves, whatever. You want to give them options. The lights are there primarily for the plants and for the photosynthesis. They're really not there so much for the fish. I believe the fish benefit from sunlight, but it's not nearly as critical as it is for plants.
So, are you good there?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. So you have a question from Ben. It says, Father Fish, what are your thoughts on keeping bettas in a community tank? I'm planning to set up a 55-gallon dirted tank. Can a male betta be kept together with schools of green neon tetras and cories?
Yeah, absolutely, and they love it. I do it all the time. I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in fact, if it's a big enough tank, you can have more than one male.
Okay.
They will separate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You might get a torn fin here and there, but by and large, they're not going to fool with each other. So long as they can get some distance, they'll keep their distance. Now, if you got a female in there, that could change the dynamic. They could squabble over her, and one of them achieve dominance if they're both into breeding. But if you got two or even more males in a tank, if it's big enough for them to get away from each other, and that range for bettas is about a foot. For other fish, it's 2 to 3 foot. For small fish, it's about a foot. It's what's it called? It's called the chase range, or the territory, or the territory range.
Yeah.
Most fish, if they have a territory, it's about 3 foot. Bigger fish, bigger territory. Aquarium fish, Oscars, that sort of thing. It's about 3 foot. So if you've got a 3 foot tank, you're going to have constant squabbles. If you got a 6 foot tank, they will go to opposite corners and pretty much stay there. There'll be a no man's land, but they're going to keep their distance from each other, given the opportunity to do so, unless, as I say, there are other factors in the works like breeding, in which case one male will always become dominant and will chase the others out of the tank.
They will.
Right out of the tank.
And my preference for especially a large tank like that is I like the placots. I feel like they swim around better in a larger tank like that. That's my personal choice. Father Fish, we could pass out a couple more wrenches also.
Sure.
So we have at 926, Hans Aquarium. And then they have
Richard.
actually a question at the same time.
I'm just killing time. You go ahead and do what you're doing.
Do you see it?
Yeah, does it make sense to feed the microscopic animals in the tank and how to do that? By and large, no, it does not. There are conditions where you would want to do that, and that would be when you're trying to create a macro culture, trying to create like a big culture of paramecium in order to feed baby fish. Something like that, you would want to feed the culture and keep it in a separate container. But for the microculture existing in your aquarium, I would not make any effort at all to feed that culture. If you've got plants in there and fish in there, they're going to provide adequate nutrition to be able to do that. Johan, thank you for the coffee. Yes, thank you, Johan. Very nice.
And
I appreciate it.
It is appreciated. Thank you. And all right, can we just go with the wrenches and we'll get that caught up and then we'll continue with questions because.
Sure, go ahead.
All right, so you gave Hans a wrench at 926?
I did.
Okay, so at 922 you have JN Aquarium and T Montero right on top of each other at 927. Can you give them wrenches, please?
922.
No. 927, I think. 927, T Montano and JN Aquarium.
Got them. Yeah.
And then there's one more, and then we'll get back to the questions, because yesterday I noticed Megan and Andrew Johnson came in, and they are members, but they don't have a wrench, so they're at 931. You see them? They're in green. They should be easy to pick out, Megan and Andrew.
Yes.
Can you give them a wrench?
Megan and Andrew, absolutely.
I noticed that yesterday, but we didn't get back to it. I was like, they're green, but they don't have a wrench. So, okay.
Got it.
I think we're good for now. And anybody else that's new and you just have to come back a couple times, and when we notice that, we'll give you a wrench.
Jack Winter is saying you're going to feed my betta twice a week. I'm not sure if that's enough. It depends. If you're simply maintaining, then it's enough. If you're trying to beef your betta up for spawning, I would feed every day for a week or two to get them hale and hearty. You want to get you want to get gonad production up. You want to get sperm production and egg production, and the way to do that is to feed proteins heavily for a short period of time. A week is usually long enough.
Yep. Where did I
And
see
Jack, we just gave Jack Winter a wrench.
Okay. You do whatever you want. Oh, Robert Tillicka had a question. Do guppies eat small snails?
The guppies eat small snails. I guess it depends on the small snail.
I feel like they might be able to eat a really like newly hatched one with a soft shell.
What they will do is they will try to pick the animal when it's out of the shell.
Exactly.
They may pick a little snail up and test it to see if they can crunch it. But typically they will not swallow it unless it's really tiny, in which case they might swallow it. I've seen little fish pick up small snails, mouth them, and spit them back out. I've also seen them try to peck at the foot of the fish when it's moving, of the snail when it's moving around. That usually makes the snail close up pretty quick.
Right.
So, no, they do not eat snails as such. That is, they can't crunch them and get the flesh, separate the flesh from the shell. Very tiny ones they might. It's not going to be a preferable food. I'm not sure how much their digestive tract would be able to break down the shell anyway. Yeah. It might. When they first hatch, they might, although typically don't. So I guess on balance, I would say no.
Yeah. I would think I agree with you. It would be within that first day that they might be able to eat the whole thing, but after that. T. Montano is asking, just set up a tank and the water's still cloudy after 2 days. But I guess
do a water change. Number one, try to figure out why it's cloudy. Right. Do a water change. If it gets cloudy again, then you've got something else going on. If you have a deep substrate, it may be that your sand is too shallow. You may need to add another ½ inch or so of sand.
Right. The sand bell.
The sand bell, right.
All right. Hey, we haven't heard the sand bell for a while.
I know it's been a while, right?
It's been a while.
Santa Bell.
And not that you couldn't have rung it. We just, I guess, forgot.
I hadn't thought about it. Right. Ring that bell.
All right. We'll have to ring that bell.
James Handy said he stopped counting tanks at 50 in his basement.
That's probably best.
That's a good place to stop, right?
Yeah. I'd stop counting at 52. Jay in Aquarium says, when the border opens, they want to come down and do some ocean collecting with you, Father Fish.
Well, that would be great fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. They had, yep. Oh, Sharpies had to set up another tub yesterday. Got a batch of bristlenose wigglers in the
Nice.
breeder box now. Wow. Sharpies, you always have tons of bristlenose.
Oh, TCM Bravo. Hi, Father. Do you ever wish, like, if this fish had some other character, it would be awesome? I don't know. That's interesting. I mean, it's a curious question, obviously. If it were not what it is, would I like it? I don't think I've done that quite. I do try to find characteristics of fish that may not be immediately apparent because they're either easy to catch and keep, and therefore I really want them, or for some other reason I got them in my tank and I'm kind of stuck with them, and I want to know how I can appreciate them. A lot of it goes to behavior, though, more than appearance. I find a lot of fish are more interesting behaviorally. They may have nice color or conformation, but it's really their behavior I'm more attracted to typically. Rohan saying, I like the fish that pay attention to me. Well, that's easy to do, but it's kind of cheating. Yeah. You don't want to take the easy road there. You want to sit and watch. And here's the thing: was it Stephen? I think was saying that there was some research done. We were talking a while back about whether fish were intuitive, and I was referring to fish that when I come near a tank with a net, the particular fish I'm interested in will seek to escape. What is Thomas bringing in here? Oh my God, I got one.
Mm-hmm.
Can we see this?
I was hoping the clear container would make it a little easier.
Can't see it there.
So it's also water too.
It is, what's it called?
That's a lizard fish.
A lizard fish.
Oh, wow. I've never seen
About
that.
6 to 8 inches long. We'll put it in the tank and show it. Can you sort of
Is
see
that
it?
marine fish?
Yeah, it is.
Saltwater.
It's about
Okay.
eight,
I was like,
about 8 inches.
freshwater.
Yeah.
Never seen
Good sized fish.
it. Oh, wow.
We'll put it in
Yeah.
put it in one of the
Not
tanks
good.
along the edge.
Not good. No, it's just customer being an ass.
Put it in one of the tanks along there, along the edge there. I haven't. No, we didn't go out. No. Well, I lost track of that. What were we on?
I don't know. I lost track of it too because I'm reading a comment that made me laugh.
Well, here it is.
Okay.
Green Machine likes that too. He didn't understand how he got into koi. Size and color, I expect.
Yeah.
Size and color.
Father Fish.
When you can grow a fish that'll get 5 foot long and weigh 100 pounds, and still be able to keep it in the backyard pond, more or less.
Yeah.
That becomes a challenge worthy of the effort.
Right. TJ's New Life says, Father Fish, what would be an interesting cold water fish to breed? Not goldfish. Sorry, Joey. Some other cold water fish, Father Fish.
Hold on a second. I'm sorry, what?
Looking for buckets.
Buckets.
With the screw-on lid would be ideal, but 5-gallon buckets would work too. I just cruising over at Wheat.
How many you need?
Looking for about 10, but I don't want to. I can get them other places. I don't want to deplete your supply.
Yeah, I'm always limited. You can have 2 or 3, but
Okay.
I've got to stack them in the back. I don't know that I have lids for them.
Oh, the screw-on type.
Go ask Thomas. He's in the back here.
Okay.
Tell him that I told you tell him to give you 2 or 3
Yeah.
with lids. I think I can do that.
You doing anything here with reptiles, like snake breeding?
I'm not breeding any. I have friends who are.
Yeah,
Yeah, milk snakes mostly.
yeah. Very good. Okay, thanks.
How are the Kearney doing? So far, so good. Alex Sean. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great Madagascar cichlid species. They're doing really well. I'm pleased. It's not a fish that's done well for me. These oddball Madagascars. I've always had bleaker eye and pollen eye, and they've always done well. But these more current species, like the Kearney. Now this particular Kearney is an oddball one. It's got large spots on its body. I haven't seen the colors come up yet. I haven't looked at it today, but that should be cool. So far, they're looking good.
So TJ wanted to know any cold water fish that you could recommend to breed other than goldfish. That might be fun.
Well, I can think of two.
Okay.
Any of the cold water darters. There are a lot of very colorful cold water darters.
That's true. Yep.
And there should be some local to everybody. And the other is the sticklebacks. The stickleback is a cold water fish and a really unusual one. Chris is saying white cloud minnows. Chris
Yes.
Biggs is here. Yeah, that's a good
All right,
choice.
Chris. Yeah, no, and white clouds are great. Father
Yeah.
Fish, can you hand out a wrench to TCM Bravo? They've been here
Where?
more than once at 9:41. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up with those because we haven't done it for a while.
You bet. TCM Bravo.
And hello, Chris Biggs.
Yes, hi, Chris. Nice to see you.
morning.
Good to have you with us.
Yes. Oh,
Sharpie
Tim
is. Yeah, go
Tim
ahead.
Shepard would like to know, since they're new, what does the sand bell mean, Father Fish? Why do we ring the sand bell?
I don't know. We started that a long time ago.
Yeah.
We ring the sand bell to designate a new member of the Deep Sand Club.
You ring the sand bell every time you say add sand.
Add sand, right? Add
When
ninjas.
he recommends somebody add sand to their tank, we try to remember to ring the sand bell.
Right.
It's just a fun thing.
That's because we live just north of Sanibel.
Sanibel.
Sanibel Island. Tom Shepard. All right. Does Tom have a wrench? He does not. He does now. All right, Tam. You just earned yourself a wrench. Lawrence Keller.
Asking a good sand question.
How many did you give him?
Oh.
How many did you give him?
5, but they're all bad. Old,
Okay.
cracked. He said he didn't need handles, so I started with the ones that were missing.
All right.
Well, that's fun, Brian's Oscars.
I'm thinking there's a separate fee for the shot range.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Okay, It says it means time to add a
I
sand
just
cap.
remembered
Right.
last time I was there.
That's right.
Can you take it out of here, guys? Thank you.
Absolutely.
I was like,
Chevy,
Brian's
cool.
Oscars.
Chevy is saying that Thomas's fish is a cool, ugly, fascinating fish.
Well, yeah,
True enough.
I would say that pretty much describes it. Yeah.
Freshwater
Brian's
lizard.
Oscars says his juvenile Oscars eat out of his hands, and one of them lets him pat him.
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
a saltwater fish. It's actually a saltwater fish. It's got a big
That's what I thought.
lizard-like mouth.
Yeah. It looks like it did. All right.
All right. What else? Where we are?
Oh, nothing. I just read a fun statement from Brian's Oscars. That's it. He said he feeds one out of his hands and pets the other one, so that's cool.
J.N. Aquarium is saying, I love it when I put my hand in the water with 50 juvenile clownfish. They all go right in my hand. Yeah, they'll stay in little tiny balls
Sure.
too. They stay together real tight. That's really kind of sweet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, TJ says he already has white clouds and rosy barbs. Yeah. Good fish. Both good fish.
Yeah, I'm real excited about the two I mentioned.
Yeah.
Especially the
You like the sticklebacks?
sticklebacks. Yeah, the spiky ones.
Yeah.
I had those as a child. The Chesapeake Bay had, I don't know which one it was. they distinguish them by the number of spines on them. There are 3 spines, 6 spines, I don't know what else, and they're found pretty much all over northern climes. Don't know that they're found below the equator, but they are found like in colder water in North America, Europe, and so forth. Don't know that they're found in Asia, but they are found in Europe.
Okay. We have some new people here today, so we should just welcome them. Because I just realized Mr. Manifesto says that
Yeah,
he's new to the
absolutely.
channel.
Yeah.
First time in a live stream. Thank you for coming in. And we try to be as interactive with the chat as we can be. People ask questions. We try to answer as many as Father Fish can answer in an hour or an hour and a half. But there's other people in the chat that can also help. So it's a good place to be.
Right.
And you make a lot of friends in the chat. So it's fun.
Hans is saying I changed all my tanks to deep sand substrate a few days ago. Also removed the hamburger mat and filter and only left a small pump to move the water. I have only a small amount of nano fishes. So, yeah.
Where did I just see this one? Oh, Chad, and this is just a statement, but it's a good one. One of my king, this is Chad. One of my king bettas loves wild caught salmon. I cut it up and into little micro slivers, feed him with my fingers. It's cool. That is cool. Good food, salmon.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but that's a good one. Oh, Megan has an update on Tarzan, which was the mystery snail we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah.
With the mantle collapse. She says Tarzan update. He's floating. He's in a floating breeder box, so he's shallow. I have to wake him up so he can try to eat, but so far he's just relaxing. Hopefully he heals up. Hopefully.
So he's out of his shell or not?
Yeah, that's the only thing we're not. Is he partially out or
Fully out?
Or fully out? My experience, when they're fully out, they don't make it.
They die, right?
You know.
Right.
But I mean, all you can do is try. You're doing the right thing. You're doing the best thing. You can just try. Good morning, Roz and Jenny and Sean and Tony. Good morning. TCM Bravo. Wow. Super sticker Father Fish. You see that? Thank you.
Yes.
The most underrated fish.
Most underrated fish is Father. Well done, TCM. That's funny.
What sort of? Hey, this would be fun.
What kind of fish are you?
If you could pick a fish name, if we were going to name Father Fish as a fish, what would you name him?
Oh my!
That would be fun. Put it in the chat if you have a good idea.
This will be interesting, won't it?
Hey, Father Fish, Rosalind that just came in is another sister of mine. Rosalind Clancy.
Yes.
That's the end of it.
Clancy.
Don't have any more after that.
My Stephen Cooper, hello. 40 Indian rupees, Rohan says. 40 Indian rupees. Thank you so much, TCM.
Yes. Thank
Oh dear.
you. Good morning, Chad.
I think we're gonna shut this down.
You are tired today.
I am. I kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
knew I was. I
You've been
started
tired
out
before.
with my brain empty.
Ooh, sorry. You just got a good name that came in. Sunset Jen says she would call Father Fish Gandalf.
That's
Gandalf
not.
the gray
Uh,
or the white?
yeah, that's Lee's answer to everything too.
Is something from
Lee calls me
Muhammad?
Gandalf.
Yeah.
How can I quarantine new fishes brought from a local fish store? Can I use a tub? And how should I do it? I have only one tank. Ram Kumar. Oh, since you only have one tank, Ram, I would be very cautious and careful about where you buy fish and what their condition is. Because you're really not in a position to do much in the way of quarantining. Here's the problem with quarantining. If you're doing it for less than a month, it's not really worth the effort. Because anything that is not visible on the fish that's wrong with it is going to take at least a month to become a problem. It's not going to happen quickly. If the fish is visibly sick, there's something visibly wrong with it, then you really don't want to get it at all. I mean, why would you buy something that's likely to die or likely to be a serious problem? Just be careful what you're buying. You won't have to worry about quarantine. This is Tom. Tom is here and he wants to know about worms. Hello, Tom. What? How do I know? I know. I have this sixth sense. It's called it's called a worm call. I get worm calls about 3 or 4 times a week. You're one of my worm. And yes, I have good healthy worms. And Richard is here. I'll have him bring some home to you. How much do you want?
Well, I'm coming over there.
Oh, dandy. Okay. You'll be here today?
Yeah. And Tommy's gonna say if there's a change, I'll give you a call back.
Okay, we'll see you.
All right, buddy.
Thanks.
Bye.
Tom's an old fish keeper.
Oh, is he?
A lot of tanks. He's nearly blind. Uses a big lens to see his fish.
Yeah.
It does a real. I'm cutting my. Oh, I know what.
Hey, I use a magnifying glass to see my baby fish. So.
Oh, I do
get it.
too.
So can you give Ram Kumar a wrench because they've been here many times, and then
Ram is now blue.
okay, and then Megan and Andrew says yes, he's out of the shell. It's just sad because I never thought a mystery snail, could have so much personality. Not the same. Not seeing him as the golden golf ball swing.
Yeah, he's not going to survive. You're doing the best you can for him.
Yeah.
Obviously, if he were in with fish, he would be torn up by now. So
yes, exactly. So you're saving him from that.
Yeah. Dana Harris, do you know of anything I can do for some rainbow fish that have fish tuberculosis? My research has come up with nothing to treat them. I would separate them. And if you can spare a tank, then do so. If not, then I would put them down. There are a number of ways to do that. Pretty easy ways that are painless or that are quick at least. Feeding them to another fish is one I kind of prefer, but you may not want to do that.
I think TCM, did they just can't come in with another super sticker?
It looks
Yes.
like it, yeah,
The second super
absolutely. Better fish like every betta's life. Nice.
sticker. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you,
Wow.
TCM.
Good morning, Jay Olivers.
And Chevy
Somebody
is saying,
obviously-
be careful with fish that have TB.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Good point. You don't want to be operating on them.
You want to be careful personally, yes, in both cases. You're for yourself
Right,
and your
exactly.
own fish.
Yep.
Absolutely. Handle them with gloves. If you
Yeah.
really think that's what you're dealing with, it's not something to mess with.
Right.
I agree with you. I'd almost get rid of them because you don't want that.
Yeah, I would tend to want to just put them down.
Yeah, I would.
Feed them to other fish.
I would not. I personally wouldn't do that.
You can do that.
Just get
Yeah.
rid of them. That
Yeah.
scares me. But it's a dangerous
Freezing.
boy.
Freezing is a good way to do that. Put them in a freezer.
Yeah.
Put them in a bag in a freezer.
I mean, there's many
pretty
ways
quick.
to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Mr. Manifest says same thing. Humans can catch TB from fish. They can. So really be careful if you honestly think that's what you're dealing with. Yeah, clove oil works, Xanadu. Yeah, there's many ways to
Clove
take care of
oil.
the problem if you need
Yeah.
to. Yeah. Or ice. Yep.
A hammer. I've never done.
I
Yeah.
didn't scroll back, but somebody obviously knew your childhood nickname because they said, "Oh, Jeff's Tanks, buddy."
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Knew your nickname. Yeah. Or was here that day.
Been a long. Yeah, that's been a long time.
Yeah. Since we had that day. Guppy Grass was saying they think mystery snails need a lot of food to survive once they get big, and I agree. They can eat a lot. Mystery snails can put away some food.
Yeah, I never feed them.
I know you don't. Megan Andrew, Father Fish, what are your thoughts on electric blue neon gobies? Are they like sea snakes digging holes in my sand? Or they are like sea snakes?
Electric blue neon goby.
Yeah.
Electric blue. They don't get big. It's a small fish. It's a little fish.
Yeah.
If we're talking about the same fish, and I don't know that we are, it's like a lot of little tiny fish that are really very pretty. You've got to have a tank that makes them visible where you can actually see them. So they need to be in a small tank, not a deep tank, but a fairly shallow front to back. I mean, so that you can see them easily. I think one of the problems with tiny fish is we tend to want to put them in tanks that are too big, and then we lose them. Even a 15-gallon is really too big for adequate viewing. They can hide way too they can hide way too easily. You want something big enough that they can spawn in, so you want a fair amount of cover, lots of plants and other hardscape, but shallow enough, and by shallow I mean front to back, not short,
Right.
but shallow. Shallow enough that you can see them wherever they are in the tank. If they're in the back of the tank, you can see them. If the tank's too deep, you'll lose them. You won't ever see them because they'll they'll be hiding all the time. That was kind of the comment I was starting to get into a little while back about fish being intuitive. Stephen made the comment that the fish follows your eye, that they look at eyes, and they'll see where your eye is. If you're looking at them, they'll know you're looking at them.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the giveaway. And that's absolutely fascinating because all animals do that. All animals are aware of other animals' eyes and whether their eyes are on them and whether they're on that other animal or not. So that's kind of fascinating that even a fish would be aware of where your eyes are looking, particularly if you're looking at them or not.
Mm-hmm. Neil Hogman says, recently discovered your channel and have learned so much. We'll be sharing with friends here in England. Cheers and good afternoon.
Well, thank you so much. Delighted to have you with us. It is a joy. Chevy is saying, do not feed your fish with TB to your fish.
I agree. That's what I said.
Can be passed to people. Hate to say it, but it would erase its life. I would erase its life humanely.
I would too. But I still remember what Chevy Fish said she would do with the fish. She put it in the chat once, how she made me laugh.
I know.
Andrew says you could use a hammer. There's a lot of ways.
Right.
I remember that Chevy Fish. I didn't forget.
Really. Neil Hogben. Why don't you give Neil a wrench?
Yeah, sure.
Welcome, Neil.
Yes, welcome.
All
welcome
right.
to the shoal and the craziness and, all the things.
40.
All right.
Thai micro crabs. Who's this? Megan is talking about them. Yeah. They're
I'm sure it's very effective.
They are. I've had them, and I don't get them anymore. They're escape artists, for one thing.
Oh, crabs, yeah.
I found more of them on the floor than I have in my
Let's not
tank.
get Sharpie's going. He always likes to comment on the crabs.
Really? All right. How we doing here?
Sharpie says, is there a picture of a fish on the food can too? Oh, sorry.
What?
I realized it's nothing. It was a question directed towards somebody else. Sorry. I just saw it quickly and thought they were asking you a question. They're just talking.
Chatting away.
Fish and Tactics is still driving. They're in Chicago now. Wow.
Oh my.
You're on a long drive because you were, I can't remember where you were earlier today, but you've made some progress.
Oh, passing Chicago.
Hi, Richie. Richie says it's 3 o'clock there. They're out. I don't blame you. Anyone advice on Neurite snails? Oh, shoot. Anyone has any advice on Neurite snails? I got 3. 2 died after a month. I am new to fish keeping to know what I did wrong. The other one is super healthy. So basically, got 3 Neurites. After a month, 2 are dead. 1's still great. Wondering what they might have done wrong.
I doubt that you did anything wrong.
Right.
One of them is still alive. Then you didn't do anything wrong. Chalk it up to the snail. They are one of those snails that cannot right themselves if they get upside down. They don't have a big enough body to flip over. So you might consider just kind of keep an eye. If a Neurite falls upside down, it's like a turbo snail in saltwater. They need to be in. They're typically in wave action. They're kind of a border or what's the word? Marginal. That's not the word I want. What's the word pertaining to the margin where the water meets the land. They're littoral. They're a littoral, Littoral. They're a littoral animal. They live in the shallows, right where the water meets the land. And so there's wave action, water action, and they get rolled around. If they don't get rolled around and they're upside down, they may not be able to get flipped over and they will die. So that can happen.
That can happen because they don't have a large enough foot to you know what I call it? I say they don't have a large enough foot. They can't right themselves. So sometimes you have to go in. If you see them, and you're right, if you see them upside down, you need to flip them over because they'll just lay there and die. They cannot. Any other snail can flip themselves over, but a nearite snail cannot. You are 100% correct.
So it may be that you did not know to flip them over. I don't know. They could have come in with something wrong with them.
Yes.
You never know. Could have had a parasite. The likelihood is they did not, or the other one would have been affected. Now, if you lose all three in another week or two, then there's probably a parasite at work.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you just try again.
They're enormously healthy, vigorous animals. I'll tell you another snail, if you can get it, that's really well worth having, is the rabbit snails. They look like a Malaysian trumpet snail, but they're bigger. I see them upwards of 2 inches. Very heavy shelled. They're extremely hardy and a real unusual looking snail. They're fairly common and they're pretty expensive. They run at around $10 a piece in most shops, but a really cool snail. I have had a number of them. I've never had one die, which is in itself kind of remarkable.
It is.
The snails do die pretty easily.
So 2 things. You know how I get laughing with Sharpies. I swear some narrates just get suicidal. He's right.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. Right.
You will find the same one upside down sometimes 3 times one day before they figure it out. And then could you give Radiant Pudding a wrench, please? They're right at 1013. Sorry, Megan and Andrew. So I'm sorry about your snail.
Welcome, Radiant.
Radiant Pudding. You got him?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and Fish and Tactics is driving from Wisconsin to Chattanooga.
Wow.
Are you going for fish, or are you just going?
That's a long
you don't have to
drive.
tell us if it's not a fish thing, but hey,
We're
I drive to Kentucky for horses all the time.
Right. So we got 81 watching. And
I like a good road trip myself, but Radiant Pudding wants to know what the wrench does for them. It makes you part of the show.
Yeah, it's kind of a favored status as a trusted. Chevy had a nice comment about it a little while back.
There, telling somebody what it meant, where'd it go.
Yeah, it makes you a trusted member of the shoal. It allows you to post links. Mm-hmm. It does not give you the ability to block anyone. We've essentially taken that away from everyone but me. And I've only used it 2 or 3 times in hundreds of videos, hundreds of streams, I should say. So it's not something. We had somebody come in once, one of the traditional mods from the Fish Fam, who proceeded to ban a whole bunch of people who they considered making comments that were questionable, and we had to admonish that person not to do that. They were all new people, so that's part of the reason we do that, so that people will feel comfortable making comments, but also realize that that we're all trusting each other to be decent and responsible and positive in our conversation. Anybody who's going to be abusive will simply be banned from the channel. Yes.
You order peacock bass?
I can order some. We do have two over there, little
We
ones.
lost one of them on Tuesday.
Did we? So we got one
over
left.
there, though?
Huh?
Is it in the tank with the Jill cichlids?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. There was one left.
If not, can you order
I
that?
can, yeah, but it's going to be a while
That's
for it to
probably
get
true. Fishing tank, you could have
to be a month.
done all sorts of errands for people.
So it sounds like if we ordered it would be more.
Oh, so where's fishing going?
He's going to Chattanooga. He's going to visit his parents.
Oh, parents. I see it. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
And of course, everybody's like, "Hey, if I'd known, you could have picked up fish for me here, and he could have just run his own delivery service, probably paid for his gas up and back, making fish deliveries. How fun, you know." I can't do that stuff without even
Dreamweaver.
pulling a horse trailer.
Dreamweaver needs one more person to hit 100 subscribers.
Oh wow! Let me see if I'll look, Dreamweaver. Let me try to find you.
There used to be a way to link. I can't do it
I
anymore.
know, and I can't do it anymore. And
They've taken that feature off. They have to paste it.
I haven't got time to paste. Don't they realize we're busy?
I know. Dreamweaver.
All right, let me see. Do I have the right icon here? Let me see. Where'd they go? Oh, I got them. Gotcha.
How many did this Dreamweaver? How many's it got?
It doesn't show me. How many do you have, Dreamweaver?
Thank you, Xanadu. Oh, Dreamweaver is a shell dweller hobbyist. Nice.
Oh, nice. Well, that is what makes it fun.
I have two colonies of shell dwellers that I have had for at least 6 months. There are 5 or 6 in each colony. I have never seen a fry. Still, even though I put the painted shells in.
Even though you put the pink shell in.
I did, as I was directed to do.
I was just so hoping that was going to work, because I was going to get so much mileage out of that. I really wanted it to work.
Well, I'll look again, but
Okay. I mean, I have to be right about this. It's got to be the karma.
it's a little
of the painted
disheartening.
shell.
I don't know. Says 99. Well, I'll be 100 now, Dreamweaver.
Oh, so funny.
Hit your reload, see if it'll pick it up.
Oh, I thought they were one away. That's why I was hoping mine was going to be 100. Guess not. Sorry. Sean, yeah. No, my thing is, seriously, it's like we drive to Kentucky. I know there's fish stores we could go to, but we're hauling a horse trailer that doesn't always fit everywhere. And it's like, I know there's stores, and I'm driving by them, and it kills me. But usually, I'm going to get a horse, so that's a good thing. But, I want everything. I want the horse and the fish,
Yeah, right. All right.
Although we can get that horse trailer in some tight places. We're pretty good at it.
I have a friend, the young man who he's not young anymore. He's probably pushing 50. Is the son of Rick Hahn, who owns the Catoctin Mountain Zoological Park.
Yeah.
He's a Steve Irwin kind of guy, rough and ready,
Yeah.
wrestling alligators. He moves large animals for zoos. He bought a special rig. It's a trailer that has an elevator roof in it, so he can get giraffes in there, 20-foot tall giraffes. And we're looking for him to bring some animals down to Florida on a run and come back empty, so we can load them up.
Yeah. Oh, so
You will meet him. He's an absolutely remarkable man. He's about 6'4", powerfully muscular man. Wears a kilt most of the time,
That's funny.
and nobody asks. He's
Right.
a major dude.
Yeah, such a legend. Nobody asks. So, Sean, when we're there, we're usually either in the Louisville, Lexington, Shelbyville area, for saddlebreads. That main area for us. That's where we are.
Henderson and Madisonville.
So it says they're in Kentucky. He's in Kentucky.
Joshua, larger cichlids like jags. Do sand. Don't do dirt. They're gonna dig it up. Any of the large Central Americans are inveterate diggers, and they'll go down till they hit hardscape. So you don't want to put dirt in those things. What you got there? Oh, the peacock, very nice.
Sunshine?
It's a sunshine, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me double check.
How much?
You know what? It might be a Temensis.
I don't see
I'm
any spots,
thinking.
but it's kind of young.
Either. 40. It might be a Temensis. I did have somebody bring some in. They had spawned.
This one looks like it was the little ones we got.
That grew out.
Yeah.
The sunshine.
Sorry,
Right.
So if it's a sunshine, you're gonna get a real
Here,
nice.
what do we got?
It'll be really pretty
You know,
other
like
way.
player tigers look, yeah. So
All right.
we're done.
Shall we put a period on this?
Yeah, and everybody's talking about their subscribers, so it would be fun for everybody to subscribe back and forth.
Yeah.
There's lots of people in here, drop your link if you would like to, so somebody can find you. If you
Thank
have
you,
a wrench, you're welcome to
appreciate
do that. And
Very
that's what
good.
makes everything fun.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, you bet.
great. Yeah. Oh, Sean says, oh, yeah, Louisville has a lot of great, yeah. Oh, big. Oh, of course they do. I never get to them, but of course they have great fish stores.
All
It's just
right.
hard when we're on the horse thing. Because I need more fish, right?
We all need more fish.
Hey, guess he just showed up. Bucky. He
Heard the
music.
first ding, didn't he?
Yeah.
Happy to be with you all. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Nice to be with you. Thank you, Chevy Fish. Thank you, Joey.
Thank you, Father
Lovely
Fisher.
to be with you all.
Thank you, Chevy.